All right. I'm here with mayoral candidate Bryon Grenfell.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So thanks for taking the time. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
You recently said that you recently moved to Galion
Yes, about
because
a little over 2 years ago.
this is where you wanted to raise your kids
This is
and
where, yeah. So let's start at Intel. What got us looking in Ohio? So I worked at Intel for
Intel.
23,
Okay.
23 years, and they were supposed to open up in New Albany. And I was looking at my wife, and she's never lived outside of Oregon. I'm like, and we're like, well, you want to move to Ohio? Yeah, let's do this. I've always wanted to live east of the Mississippi. I've already all done the West Coast,
Yeah.
west of the Mississippi. Let's do east of the Mississippi. And this is the opportunity. And so we found an old abandoned church that we liked. And then my wife started doing a lot of research on the town and realizing that this is a perfect size town to raise your kids.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's not so small. Like, I'm from a very small town in Montana. It had 2 bars and one burned down, and it was a tragedy. It was like,
Yeah.
a town of like maybe 200.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Uh, but here, we have viewers if we need to actually get some kind of groceries, not to go like 30 minutes out, and
Yeah.
we have skating rink and a movie theater. Like, this is stuff there for the kids to do, and they can kind of grow up. But it's not such a huge town that you get lost and you get problems with the bigger town. So before we decided to move here, my wife had done so much research, and
Yeah.
she probably knows more than most of the people around here about Galion and its history. And we're like, all right, let's do it.
Okay. So the history had a lot to do with it.
The history and the size of the town and location too. I mean, perfectly located. I mean, Cleveland's just like an hour and a half, and Columbus is an hour, so it's like the perfect location. Nice central Ohio, right there.
Yeah. Interesting. So what made you want to run for mayor?
The big on that one was, it kills me. Is okay, trying to get people in the local government to acknowledge other people. It's so frustrating. Like, you're trying to talk into the mayor and that, and he's, oh, I ain't talking to me. I talk to this person. Try to talk to your local candidate, or local, not candidate, like local council member. You can't. And I'm sitting there, and this town is a lot of boys club. And I gotta tell people, I'm like, I'm from Ohio, so I don't have boys yet. Like, if need be, I will hire some, but I don't have boys yet. And I want to see a real change, because local government is the only level of government where you know everybody. Everyone is at least 2 people away. Sorry, my son. 2 people away from someone else.
Yeah.
It's one of these things that the higher you go, then it's like, there's no way I'm going to go up to the governor, Dewan, go, hey, Dewan, I got a question for you, security, and that's not going to happen. But your mayor, you should be able to walk up to your mayor, hey, I got a question for you, and just be able to, mayor should be able to listen to you, you go, okay, and move on. And I want to help. That's a big part of it. And then I want to help the city get out of its rut that it's in. It's for years, since it's been so many years of corruption going back, and I think just recently, like $1 million that was left, and it's just been gotten to be where a small group of people are trying to run everything. It's like, no, we need to open this up and get rid of the corruption and get people to have faith in the government and move it into the future. Our council meetings, move it over to YouTube. We can use AI to get minutes. I want people. I don't expect people to watch the council meetings. I mean, meetings are boring. That's just the nature of a meeting. They are. But if the meeting doesn't have minutes, where I'm from, that means there's no meeting. So at least people should be able to look at the minutes and see and have an idea what's going on, and be able to talk to their council members and know what's going on. Not feel like, hey, is this true? And feel like, I want to know what's going on in my city. And that's like the big thing I got me running on that, because I want people to feel like, yes, this is our city again. It's not, the funniest thing I heard is the Galion elites. I went to go run, and people are like, the Galion elites are going to stop you. If you're a Galion elite, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. It's like, a Galion elite is a Columbus middle class.
Have they tried to stop you?
No, I mean, not that I have. It's funny is people, go through and they're like, oh, recently on a Facebook post, there was someone on Galion City Talks. I'm going to the person in charge that did a post about Bryon Stutterfield there, and I'm like, I've changed my mind. I'm voting for Tom Palmer. And I'm a goofy kind of guy, so I just put a little gift of I'm a sad panda from South Park. I don't know if you remember that. Just because people should believe whatever they want. And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry to, upset you, but I've known Tom for 50 years, so I got to vote for Tom." And I'm like, "You didn't upset me. It's fine. All I ask is people to do their research." And she's like, "Well, I did." And like I said, I know Tom for 50 years. I know nothing of you. And I'm like, "That means you didn't do your research."
Yeah. And 2025 gifts might be a pretty good campaign strategy.
It might be. It's just funny is like I'm the only candidate that I put my opponent's websites on one of my posts because, like I said, I'm a strong believer in having educated voters. I've ran into a few like, "Oh, I can't vote for you. I got to vote for like Bryon or somebody," and like, "Oh, okay. You like Paul? Oh no, I went to school with him." Or, "Hey, he's on my bowling league." It's not a reason to vote. That's why the city is where it's at because like, I know that dude. I'm voting for him. Like, no, I tell people every vote I get is because I earned it. Um, we have one good friend here. There's a couple of people I've met that I'm friendly with, but for friend wise, I'd say we have like one family friend here. So, we're new.
Yeah.
And I'm rambling.
No, that's all right. I moved here a couple years ago too, so I'm about in the same boat as you.
Oh yeah,
I think a lot of what you're talking about has to do with the internet and the way that kind of changed the way people get information from maybe a newspaper or just word of mouth around town, where people are more engaged, to suddenly everyone's on the internet, so they're hearing about things from all over the world, all over the country, and that kind of actually has a way of, even though more information is out there, making them less aware of what's going on here.
yeah. But I was talking to Jeff Hartman from the school board there, and I was talking like one thing that really should be teaching our kids is how to get information on the internet and what information to take. Like, is this opinion or is it fact? Look through all of this and find the truth in between the two different sources because, especially with the internet now, it's all pretty much yellow journalism. So
Yeah, it's not easy.
no,
Um, do you have any specific plans thinking along those lines, talking about keeping, in my mind, it's especially young people that you want to get more engaged. Do you have any? You mentioned the idea that you had the idea of a newspaper. I had
yeah,
the same
that's
idea, but anything else
yeah
like
for
that?
the high school kids. One thing I want to do and to keep the young kids here. You young kids here, you young whippersnappers. No, but we need to have jobs. We need to have jobs that pay $20 an hour. Like I can probably bring in Walmart, but that's not going to help people.
Yeah,
I mean, oh wow, it's going to get cheap grocery stores, but now for employment reasons, so that help young people, I want to bring in the jobs. But more specifically for the young people is I campaign by going door to door talking to people. That's how I got all my signatures, and that's going door to door talking to people. And I met this young fella. I forget his name offhand, but he asked me how do I get into politics. I'm like, I don't know. This is my first time even trying it, but it got me thinking. I would like to start having maybe some internships. And having maybe get some council members to have some internships, or maybe the council kids can help the council members get information on stuff they need to vote for. And I want to engage the kids more. Uh, the depot. We got this depot. We're spending all this money on it. Let's do something with it. Let's do kind of a volunteer reverse teaching thing, so we can have some young kids teaching old people about using the internet and keeping safe. We can have old people teaching young kids about even using even using hand tools and all this kind of stuff. Just having back and forth communication and talking between the young and the old. That's the things we want to keep the next generation and beyond that here. Otherwise, the city is going to die. And to do that is you got to one get people prideful in their city, and two they got to have jobs. That's the big thing. Is you can have all the pride you want in city, but if you ain't got the job, yeah, that's not going to help. I'm from Montana. I love to be Montana, but there was no jobs. You know, so bringing in jobs is going to be a key part. Is bringing in the jobs, bringing in that, and I'd love to bring in a tech school.
Okay.
I think that would be awesome too. But again, it's got to be, you know,
Yeah.
everything. Got to have a place to stay and work. You know, that's
Yeah. So with bringing in jobs, is there anything in particular that you want to do with that, or just kind of do what you can do when the
no.
opportunities arise?
So what I want to do is I'm glad you asked that because I want to do a follow up on that one. I'm going to create a welcoming committee. So it's going to be
Okay.
myself, someone from the city council, someone from the port authority, and someone from chamber of commerce. And the reason why I want those entities is so when we go to a company and say, hey, you want to come and expand into Galion, we have expertise that could probably answer questions right then and there. But I want to go there and give them the one-on-one treatment. And I always tell people, like, this is when we start acting like a used car salesman. Going, what do I got to do to get you in this fine city right here? Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah. And so it's these kind of things. Go out and find, like, if I have to cold call people, and like, hey, you guys want to expand? Hey, thinking about expanding? What do I got to do? Because we have all these businesses here. Chances are, when we get a business coming in, they're going to get their electricity. They're going to get at cost. They're going to get tax breaks, whatever they need to do to set up shop for as little as possible. We're going to do it because city makes money on the employees, not the company. So that's what we're going to kind of do. We're going to not bend till we break, but we're going to bend to try to bring some companies in here, and that's just go out and find them and give them that one-on-one treatment that they need and want.
Okay. Never been a part of anything like that. So.
The closest I've ever come to something like that was through Intel, and just trying to get them to put their name out on some public places. So I had to go to different charity events and all that, like an air show. And hey, how about would you like Intel to do? I started to do that until someone told me we actually have people to do this, and stop doing it. I'm like, okay, yeah, but it's one of the things to go through any rumors we hear, even cold calling companies. I mean, I'm going door to door talking to people. I have no problem picking up the phone, going, "Hey, how you doing? I'm the mayor of Galion. Hey, you want to expand your company? You thinking about it? What can we do?
Yeah, I think you knocked on our door a few months back.
Probably. I've gone to about 2,000 people, and what I like telling people is, if you read any of it, like talk about Galion and all, you read that, you're like, oh my God, this city is just so concerned and full of hate and all that. I'm like, it really isn't. Going on, knocking to people, talking to people. Yes, a lot of them are Republicans, but they're more old school. They're not mega. They're more old school, and they're more willing to hear, and they want a better city, and they understand politics. Upper politics, national politics up here. We need to work on the city politics.
I agree.
Like my card, it says a proud ally. I've had it returned like 3 or 4 times. No, I'm sorry, I can't support that. I'm like, that's fine, But most of the time, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I have a cousin that's gay, or something like that, but they just don't want to bring it out online. And what really gives me is a lot of people, I won't say a lot, but a few people come to me and they've said, I want to put up your sign, but I'm afraid to.
Oh yeah.
And like when we first put up the unity flag, people are like, I worry about your safety. It's America. I should be able to, okay, there he is. I should be able to, have any opinion. And I respect your opinion. I have to agree with it. But hey, that's your opinion. And for people to be so scared about this, it just really bothers me. And I'm like, wow, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not too much worried about it because it's a people wise, I've talked to about 2,000 different people. I mean, even if I get half of those people to vote for me, well, there's half of the votes I need.
Yeah.
I mean, without having to sit there and spend tons of money on billboards and T-shirts and Facebook ads and all this stuff. And I'm like, I understand it's a local election, right? We're supposed to be talking to people. You're not talking to people if you've got an ad.
Yeah. I bet a lot of people appreciate that.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh wow, what are you doing here? And I'm like, this is how I'm supposed to run. My goal was originally try to meet everybody. Yeah, I'm not going to make that part. I think probably by the time I get done, about 3,000 people. But part of it is Saturdays with my kids, and then I try to Saturday evening. And people of Galion, be home on weekends. No, but yeah, it's one of these things that you see the billboard. Oh, wow, he's got a billboard. Okay, why? Because he's not talking to people. It's one of those things.
Okay. Um, Last big question I have is on utilities. Do you have a strong perspective on the utility situation or the
Yes,
water?
yes. So first thing with the water, they have, and for being an election year, it really sucks. I got to say this because, but to be honest, Galleons passed EPA regulation for 2024. They finally passed it. Being an election year, I wish I could say, it keeps failing. I'm going to, well, actually, but we still have a long ways to go. If you look at their plan and you're reading through it, I mean, it's as long as your arm reading through it and all that stuff. So one of the first things I'm going to do, there is a plan in place, but I want to break it down so people can just look at it and read through it and say, okay, oh, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this, and maybe put a timeline in, where's the money and where's it going to go. So people are more informed. There has been so many rumors, oh, you can't do this and you got to do this. And it's like, so I tell people, until I can see it, I'm not going to report on it. I come
Yeah.
from an engineering background. I like facts. So if I don't see the facts or my son, oh,
Right
there he
there.
is. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. But yeah. But so with that, then we can come up with a plan and how to pay for it and all that. I know, like Nikki Ward, for whatever reason, she's been the center of this election. People, and I understand there's a lot of things that she's done wrong. But my question is she doing it on O'Leary's orders or is she doing it on her own? Because she's a very important role. And is O'Leary just letting her just run wild? I mean, like, that's why I always say I'm not going to fire her and I'll work with her and find out because she has the experience. But if she's going to be totally like, no, I don't want you to do this and button heads with me. And I forget who said it. Like, I like my employees to argue with me right up to the moment I fire them.
Okay.
I think it was Henry Ford. But that's one thing. So everyone knows exactly what's going on with the water um, and our plans and step through it and just make it simple and easy for people to see. Our utilities. We are stuck with using American Municipal Power AMP. I hear we're in this long-term contract that we can't break. I would like to find out, can we actually break this or not? One of the problems with AMP is they just recently got done with a couple of projects, and one of their projects actually doubled in budget. So, of course, everything rolls downhill. But to see, is this our best option? Is it not? Go through that. I want, if we can start getting a way to break, my ultimate goal would be the city buys power and send it back to the people at a 15% markup, with 10% going to the city, 5% going for upkeep. But that's something. But for the immediate help for people, you take your usage for 6 months, you figure out your usage, and we average it out. And that is your bill for that 6 months. After 6 months, we factor in, did you pay more? Did you pay less in your next 6 months? And then boom, 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 like that. So you'll be able to budget, and your power bill and your utility bill is not going to be up and down. You're like, oh wait, now it's 400. Wait, now it's 300. All this. You'll know exactly how much it is. At the end of that 6 months, like I said, it may go up, it may go down. We'll factor it in right there and keep doing it that way, but you'll keep knowing what it is. And let that be the initial help we can do until we can see what we can do to actually lower the rates. But for now, that would be the best way I can see to help people. Like, I know myself, it'd be helpful to know exactly what it is every month to try to make a budget.
All right. I'm out of questions. And any last pitch for why we should vote for you?
I think I have said it before, but I think one of the biggest thing is, like I said, I'm not part of a boys club. I am one of the candidates. Oh, I have proof that I listen to people. People online last year, it was a big shock to me when they didn't have trick or treating at night. I'm like, that's just weird. I grew up and I always had that. And I kept hearing people saying they wanted it, they wanted it. I went to the city council and they're like, well, 40 years ago, a child tragically died, so we can't have it. Like, and nothing has changed in 40 years. Okay. So I found out, is there a reason why we can't have one at night? So I'm talking with the police chief and the mayor and all that there's no reason. So I created a nighttime Facebook page. So now we have like over 500 people that's going to participate in a nighttime trick-or-treating event. And I know that's not like, saving Galion millions of dollars now, but that's just something that, as a private citizen that's just been here, this is something people wanted. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a part of my whole thing is I want to hear what people say. City website's going to have ask a mayor, ask your city council member, and then a Galion Mythbuster page. So if you have questions, I got a spider on you.
It'll
And
make
so,
its way off.
yeah, that one went off. Yeah. And so if you had a question about Galion, like, is it true? One of the rumors I've heard is like the Sleep Country Inn over there, like the city gave him $10,000 in free electricity. It's one of the rumors I heard. So you could ask that, is this true? Someone's going to go through and look through and like, no, this is not true. And here are the receipts saying it is. So I want to get the talking off of Facebook and back in somewhere it's controlled. Like, these are the answers, and here you go.
Yeah.
If you have a question for the mayor, you ask on that question, and I will answer as truthfully and best I can. City council member, I can't force city council to answer those emails. I can't, because they don't directly work for the mayor. But what I can do is at city council meeting, I can sit there and go, oh, hey, Ken, you have this question, been sitting here for 3 weeks. Let's answer that right now, and encourage them that way to do it. And if I have to, I have to, because people need to get back their city. And they need someone who's going to work for them and not worry about, oh, yeah, I knew that guy. Oh, I knew him. No, work for everybody. My speech when I first knock on the door. My name is Bryon Grenfell. I'm running for mayor. And I decide if I'm supposed to represent everyone in Galion, I should try to meet everyone in Galion. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. Even after I win, I'm still going to try to, I might not go as much door to door, but I'm have a fence and you meet people and try and talk to people. And you get so much information talking to people and you understand. And I think that's about it. Bryon for mayor on Facebook. Go there.
All right. November 4th, right?
Yep, November 4th, and early voting just started.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.